All right, guys. Good morning. Melissa here. I'm getting ready to go networking. I've got a big day ahead of me. I got a lot of stuff going on with meeting with a few people after that. Um, so Kevin Leandro, the truth has come out. Kevin Leandro, and family have a hatred toward me because I have told them good people don't go to heaven, basically. So I let Kevin contacted me last night in a text, and he's just like, "Are you sending us the right paperwork? Because you wrote on the back of this paper or whatever, and you weren't supposed to. Da 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 da. What is your motivation with this appeal? Are you looking for reconciliation? That ship has sunk." And so he went on and on all night, and I witnessed to him. I said, you are prideful, because he's like, I've had 15 businesses, and I'm like, oh, did they all go bankrupt? And he's like, no, I sold like some of them, and some of them are in holding, and blah blah blah. And I said, you're prideful. You're prideful. I said, I see no dependence on God with you. You think you're a self-made man. He's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, every breath you take is from God. You're not a self made man. Where's your dependence on God and being thankful to Him for what you have? So he says he believes in God, but there's a big difference between believing in God and making Him Lord of your life, right? As I was talking to a guy the other day about God, we have that balance of who does God choose to be saved, and how much are we seeking God ourselves? There is a balance, right? It doesn't, being chosen as we are, children of God, doesn't take somebody out of the responsibility of seeking God, right? Otherwise, there's no hell. And I was talking to an Uber guy and witnessing to him about this too. Um, and, that's another story for another time. So, Kevin's like, oh, you're a nut job, and you're this and you're that. And I'm like, you know what? I wear the persecution of being a Christian as a badge. They hated Christ, and Christ said they're going to hate you. And then he's like, he's trying to, my husband's trying to get out of any responsibility whatsoever for him claiming, a divorce. And I'm like, he had so many choices. He had choices to come here and be with us. He had choices, to go look for a house himself. And he's just mad that he doesn't have the house he wanted. I was nice enough to go to work, as I always have, before I was married, while I was married, to go and get extra work, although he's the provider, and make sure he had a house. But once he was being mean to me, he lost that home. He was like, me, I'm going to have the home without you. You can leave. So it turns out the way God turned Mike's heart is Ben got to leave. And so he was being nasty to me. And as I talked to a woman who was in domestic abuse, ladies, starts with control, then it's hitting you. And this lady had waited, like by the third time, he had actually broken her nose, punched her in the eyes, broke her cheeks, everything. And then he went to Walmart and brought her flowers to say he was sorry. Not okay, ladies. The first time a guy touches you, it's not okay. So he's still complaining about being in his truck without realizing maybe you shouldn't put your hands on a woman. And as I told Leandro, touch me again and see what happens. So my husband pushed me and threw me, and this was the first time. And I told him he's out. He was in his truck, but then he was slowly coming back, and he was in the basement. And I had given him eventually a chance with boundaries, but then he just lied about everything. So it's like, why did I give him a chance at all? So learn from that, ladies. I have learned from listening to this lady who talked about, her husband. Just, it starts off slow, and it's usually at the end of the marriage when they're not happy that they get abusive. So, so Kevin has gone on and on, and because I've taken help, me and my husband paid into taxes together. As a couple, that was our money. We paid into taxes together, and Kevin's like, you took help during COVID. That's my tax money. I said, hey, it's mine too. I had an older woman say to me, Melissa, does Ben work hard? Yep. Does he pay taxes? Yep. Then don't worry about taking WIC or Medicaid. So COVID was unexpected, right? So take the funds, lady. But Kevin went so far as to call me a communist last night and a socialist for taking some programs that we have a right to. We do have a right to some programs. We pay into the system and we have a right for that. It's better than the big government getting all your money, right? So I am for families being supported and helped. We have a very corrupt government. If you don't use the money, like this older woman said to me, it's going to go somewhere else. That's just the way the system works. And, he's like, I pay my fair share. And, I said there was a man, Jesus talks about this, who had his barns full, he had plenty.